Father, we bless you for grace. Please teach us your word in the name of Jesus. Today, the Lord will be teaching us in a topic that says, don't get tired of waiting. Don't get tired of waiting. And we are going to take our text from Genesis chapter 16 from verse 1. Genesis chapter 16 verse 1 reveals Sarai's strange advice to Abraham. He was directed to sleep with Hagar, their maid. Hagar may probably be part of those who left Egypt with Abraham when the king sent them out after he found out Abraham's lie. Because the Bible reveals that Hagar was an Egyptian. So we may reasonably conclude that Hagar was part of those that left Egypt with Abraham and Sarah. Now, who gave the advice is not as important as the content of the advice. Sarai was desperate for a child, so she began to try several formulas, hoping that one of them will work. Here, Sarah appeared to be more desperate than Abraham in this childbearing thing. That may be because Abraham was alone when God promised him a child. Maybe if Sarah was there, she wouldn't have been this desperate. Or maybe Abraham was at fault. Maybe she became that desperate because Abraham didn't bother telling him. Maybe because Abraham didn't bother telling her what God told him each time he meets with God. Or maybe Sarah knew all this and still chose to do what she wanted. Well, whatever the case may be, whatever the reason is, it is clear that there is usually no smoke without fire. Something must have prompted Sarah to be that desperate. In Genesis chapter 16 verse 2, the Bible recorded that Abraham obeyed the voice of his wife by agreeing to have sex with Hagar. Now, this is the beginning of polygamy. This idea of marrying more than one wife appeared to be first suggested by a woman. In Genesis chapter 16, verse 3 to 4, Hagar became pregnant, and because of this, she embraced pride and began to disregard Sarai. That's how some people are. The moment they are in need, they will be gentle, calm, and obedient. But when they see that they got what they wanted, the next action is to start misbehaving. In Genesis 16, verse 5 to 6, Hagar's rudeness made Sarah drive her out of the house. Sarai, who appeared not to be jealous at first by giving Hagar to Abraham, now suddenly became jealous after Hagar conceived. Sarai sent her out in order to show her superiority. Sarah sent her out in order to show her that she is more superior to her. Hagar thought she was now the boss. What she didn't know is that Abraham's closeness to her was Sarah's plan. The moment we get tired of waiting for God's plan, then costly mistakes becomes inevitable. The cure to mistakes and errors is waiting on God. There are some mistakes that is better not committed than being committed because their effect is usually very grievous. May the Lord deliver us from making costly mistakes that will truncate our destiny. In the name of Jesus.